There are a lot of aircraft that people want to see more of, and the F-105 THUNDERCHIEF is certainly one of them. Before we dive into this video, however, I'm going to need you guys to hit that like button and subscribe, because only 9% of you are subscribed, and I think that's a pretty lame number, so we should get that up a little bit. Now, the F-105 THUNDERCHIEF, in this case, the F-105F, is a very interesting aircraft. I promise you that you have heard of this aircraft if you've paid any attention to US military history, or just the Air Force history in general. Do you guys know what a Wild Weasel is? You probably do. If you don't, it's what we call an aircraft that goes out and gets targeted by SAM systems to then take them out using anti-radiation missiles or any means necessary. And guess what? The F-105F is the Wild Weasel. It's the original Wild Weasel. It had a couple nicknames. I think the most interesting one, the one I liked the most was Lead Sled. It also had the nickname of Thud, which was, nickname for all of the THUNDERCHIEFs. And then it also had the Ultra Hog nickname, which, again, just a baller nickname. It could fly at over Mach 2, which is beautifully, beautiful speed for an aircraft. And its first flight was in June 11th, 1963. It was originally made as a trainer, hence the twin seats, and then it was converted into the famous Wild Weasel configuration, which was that anti-aircraft or anti-radar aircraft. Over 20,000 combat sorties were flown by THUNDERCHIEF pilots. The losses to the F-105 Thud were extreme. 382 aircraft lost out of 833 built. And Wild Weasel pilots, F-105F pilots, were the guys who had to go do the most dangerous job out there, which was to hunt enemy SAM missile sites. Pilots called it first in, last out. And it's something that shaped the entire era of modern air combat. This is something we've seen F-16s do, it's something we've seen F-18s do, and it's something we're now seeing the F-35 do. And Wild Weaseling and seed missions has not changed. It's still the same principle. The F-105F was armed with things like the AGM-45 Shriek anti-radiation missile and the AGM-78 Standard anti-radiation missiles. It had upgraded AIM-9 Sidewinders. I'd imagine that Gaijin would be able to give it the AIM-9G. And then it also carried your general purpose bombs, being the 250, 300, and 750 pound bombs, cluster bombs, and then napalm. And then nuclear capabilities for the F-105F, and then it still carried that M61 Vulcan 20mm rotary cannon. And this aircraft is just so impressive. It was originally designed to carry a nuclear bomb internally, and it was the most dangerous aircraft to fly during the Vietnam War. Now, we were promised anti-radiation missiles to come to War Thunder. We saw them in the Nuclear Thunder testing, and there's a very real possibility that this would be one of the first aircraft to receive the AGM. Or, well, the anti-radiation missiles, that is. Now, the F-105F THUNDERCHIEF, or in this case, the Ultra Hog, would be very similar to the F-105 we have in War Thunder already, except it would receive better AIM-9s, it would receive, obviously, the anti-radiation missiles, and it would have the twin seat configuration instead of the single seat. And that'll be good. That'll be fun. The F-105, in my opinion, is literally the most underrated aircraft in War Thunder. I know that's a bit of a stretch, but it sits at 10.0, has no countermeasures outside of a chaff pod, and you get access to AIM-9Es and a Vulcan. So if you can, survive the onslaught of missiles, you're a very capable airplane, and you have 3,000-pound bombs for CAS. Now imagine an upgraded F-105F, and not the D model, and you can imagine why the Ultra Hog could fit into the game. And I would love to see it. The skin I have, the skin configuration on my F-105D is very similar to the F-105F's skin, or camouflage, I should say. The F-105F was capable of carrying 14,000 pounds of bombs, which was more than some World War II heavy bombers, which is it's utterly insane. Now, if you guys aren't too familiar with the F-105 THUNDERCHIEF in general, during the Vietnam War, this is an aircraft that the United States really had to look at and use the most. It flew the most combat sorties of any other aircraft during the Vietnam War outside of the F-4 Phantom, and it was oftentimes the aircraft put in the most danger. This is an aircraft that its job was to go out and target weapon systems, target SAM systems, just anything that was deemed not safe for the much heavier B-52. So it was oftentimes targeted by enemy MiGs, and it was oftentimes targeted by SAM systems. In fact, the most successful air operation during the Vietnam War was F-4 Phantoms that disguised themselves as F-105s. Operation Bolo was when several F-4 Phantoms, using the same sort of electronic systems the F-105 had, so it was looked like to the North Vietnamese that they were F-105s, went out. MiG-21s came out to dance. They thought they were going to go shoot down some F-105s. Instead, they ran into fully armed and fully weapon-fitted F-4 Phantoms. It wiped out over half of the North Vietnamese available MiG-21s in less than 6 hours. The F-105 Thunderchief, even though it wasn't the best aircraft the United States Air Force ever used, it should go down as one of the greatest of all time. The amount of pilots that lost their lives flying this aircraft, and just the amount of, balls it took to be a guy to go in with new, never before used weapon tactics, which was the SEAD at the time, to go in on purpose, get shot at on purpose, and then have to rely on your teammates to be able to fire off anti-radiation missiles. It's just a very, very impressive sortie in general. Like I said, hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Join the Discord link down below in the description. Hope you guys have enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next one.